Class. So in today's class, we're going to be doing a pouch, and this pouch comes in 7 different parts. We're going to be talking about the parts and how to obtain the stencil for the project. But before we dive right into it, I would like to say a very big thank you if you have subscribed to this channel. If you've not yet done that, I will advise that you hit on the pause button, subscribe now, and don't forget to hit on the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime a new video is uploaded. Let's dive right into the project. I always try to develop a stencil so that I can put it aside for keeps, and anytime I need to redo the same project, I just pick it up. So what you have to do is to cut a big paper size. If you have that size, you're going to be cutting it at the length of 52 centimeters and then the width of 29.5 centimeters. If you have that. If you do not have it, what you can also do is to get 3 A4 sheets, as what I have done here, and then you're going to piece them together. Okay, so I have 3 of them, and I've just used sellotape to secure them together to get the size I want, and I think that makes it a lot easier for me, if you ask me. So you get the first one and you piece it together with a second A4 sheet, and then what you do with the third A4 sheet, you fold it into 2 equal halves, then you cut it up, and then you just take 1/2 and then join it to the other piece, and that gives you a length of 52 centimeters. Now when you've done that, you're going to have to round the corners here and then round the corners here, okay, to give it some added effect. And I had done that with my armhole curve. So if you have an armhole curve, you just try and position it right, run it off at the corners. Like what I always say, you can just run it off to the center of the paper, flip it over like that, and then trace this other side and cut it as well, so that you can have equal shapes on both sides. I think that makes it easier. So that is our first piece, and I have labeled it 1. So this is our number 1, as we have different pieces we are putting together. Okay, so let's go on to number 2, number 3, and number 4 shapes. So what I have done with the number 2, 3, and 4 is to get another set of A4 sheets, 3 of them as well. And then for the number 2, I just took 2 centimeters off the number 2. Okay, so if you place it on this side, you realize that it ends over here. So I have just snapped off 2 centimeters of the main paper size. Okay, and then for your number 3, you're going to slash off 4 centimeters of the main paper size. All right, so that is going to be positioned here in the center like this. So we have, if you look at the size of the A4, you can see that 2 centimeters was snapped off here and another 2 snapped off here. And so you're going to be snapping off 4 centimeters in total. You can just take it off one end, and when you position it, it will be in place like this. Then we come on to our number 4 piece. All right, it's just the same as this upper one that we had slashed up and then shaped. So you can have the other part, because earlier I had said cut it up into 2, so you can keep the other part for this bit. And when you've done that, you're going to slash, when you've done that and shaped the top, you're going to slash off 2 centimeters as well, so that when you place it on this side, you can have this gap in here. Okay, the reason why we are leaving these spaces cut is we're going to be folding the pouch on top of each other, and when we have leather running all the way through, it makes it difficult to fold. But when we have some gaps in between, then it's easier to put one on top of the other. Okay, so let's go ahead to talk about the other parts. So the next bit you're going to be cutting is going to be 10.5 centimeters wide by 16 centimeters long. All right, so 10.5 by 16 centimeters. And when you've done that, you're going to measure in 1.5 centimeters, okay, in the same here. So you measure 1.5 up to this bit and measure 1.5 across, make a line like that, all right, just to get this shape out. And then you have to round the corners a bit, like what I have here, as you can see. So cut a square, measure 1.5 across, 1.5 down. Just put a mark there and a mark there, so you know where you're drawing your line. Then you make your first line slanted, and then you're going to run it straight up and then curve it on that side. So this is a part for this bit. Then you cut another paper size, and that is going to be 14 centimeters by 16 centimeters. When you've done that, you're going to measure on this end 10 centimeters down and just put a mark there. And then from this end, mark in 8.5 centimeters, and then just put a mark as well. Then you join the two corners with a line, and then you slash that bit off. So that goes here as the other bit. So this section will be for your phone. This can be for your cards and complimentary cards and stuff like that. Okay, then number 6 is going to be a strap that is going to secure your phone. If you have a phone, kind of secure it like that over here. Okay, so that is also going to be 13 centimeters by 2 centimeters. And when you've done that, you just round one corner like that, just one corner, and that will be for the number 6. Now the final one is your number 8 piece, and you're also going to be cutting 6 by 6.5 centimeters rectangle. So it's not like a perfect square, nearly like a perfect square. So 6 centimeters across, and then you're coming down is 6.5. Okay, you're going to put that into 2, and I'm going to be demonstrating that in a minute for you to see. So let's say this is my 6 by 6.5 shape. Okay, so let's say this is my 6 by 6.5 shape. What I'll do is I'm going to be measuring 1 centimeter from the edge whilst it's on the fold. Okay, 1 centimeter from the edge coming in, and then just put a mark here, and then mark another 1 centimeter, and then put another mark here. And then I'm going to be slashing it at that point to the very end like that, and then do the same here, and then that gives us this shape. So that is going to be fitted here as a pen holder, and when we are ready with that, you're going to see that as well. So I'm going to put my pieces away and then transfer all these little bits onto our leather, and then we start stitching from there. All right, so all the stencils have been transferred onto the vinyl or onto the leather. I'm going to go ahead and stitch the bits together and bring it back. So this is going to be stitched onto this side. All right, I'm just going to run a stitch over here like that, and then I'm going to position this rightly as well, and then push this in here to the side before I run a stitch to hold it together on just 3 sides. All right, leaving this bit here where we can use it as storage. And then on the last bit, I'm going to be working on this layer on its own first before we come and stitch it onto this bit. So I'm first going to be stitching 3 sides of this pocket here. Okay, and then come over here and then attach this little flap onto this corner here. Okay, just make a little stitch over here before we come over and stitch 2 sides of this bit here. Actually 3 sides though. Here I'm going to leave this unstitched, but come here and run a stitch over here and then over here before we actually stitch this bit on 3 sides on top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the little bits of all the stitches, and then I'll bring it back from there. All right, so I've finished stitching everything together for this bit. I'm going to set the snap button, and then we take it from there. So each set comes with the top, and then there's a female, and then there's a male version of it. So I'm going to be setting the female version on the top here, and then I'll set the male bit on the bottom here, so we can snap it on top of each other like that. So I first make a hole with this anvil here. All right, and then I put the top bit over here, and then I put the female version on top of it like that. And I'm going to use my clamp, okay, to set it together. So the clamp has a hole like that, so the whole bit is going to go into this one here whilst we press the two together to set it. So it's been set for the top bit. I'm going to do the same for the bottom bit here, and then we take it from there. All right, so for the other one, I've just done my punch hole. I'm going to take it out. I've just done my punch hole, and then the flat bit is going to go in, out, okay, into the hole. And then I'll bring the male bit with the flat bit going on top of the hole, and then this bit here coming in. So in that same way, I'm going to be using the clamp to set it. All right, so that is it, and that is what we want for this bit. I'm going to carry on with the rest and come back. So this bit here is finished. We are yet to do this bit and that bit. Now this bit has a pen holder, so I'm going to figure out where the center of that bit is going to be, and then I'm going to slide it in before I run my stitch over here, here and here. All right, so I've figured out where I'm going to start stitching the pen holder from. I have already run a stitch to put it down. I've tried it to see that a pen could fit. So I'm going to start stitching from here, pivot at this bit, come to this bit here. Just when I'm about to get there, I'm going to slide this in, then carry on stitching on top of it, and then I'll carry off to this bit here and end it here. All right, so every bit is stitched. Now we have to do a snap button at the top here so that we'll be able to snap it close, and then that will be done. So I'm going to find the center of this bit. Going to put this together like that and find the center of the top flap. I know it's going somewhere here, so I'm going to be putting the snap over here, and then we'll be able to close it on this one. So we should have actually done this bit of the back before fixing all of this, attaching all of this bit, but we're still going to find a way to attach the other half of the snap button to it. Okay, so remember, it's not supposed to come onto this bit, just on the inner layer. So I'm going to try and use my anvil to make a hole now and make sure that I'm not poking myself. All right, then I'll push the flat bit goes in, out, and then we put the other half into it like that. Okay, let's be sure that we've done the right thing before we actually press it down, so it looks like it's properly done. I'm going to get my anvil to press it in, and then it's stable. All right, it was a bit of a struggle, but I still managed to get it done. So your best bet is to fit this snap button before you actually come and stitch this bit on. All right, so let's test it and see. So that is our pouch. Now we're going to try to pack it up and see how it goes with everything. All right, so I have my phone here, I have a pen here. I'm going to put some business cards here as well, and then I'm going to put my organizer over here in this bit. Okay, and then this here. So we are good to go, and then there we have our pouch. Beautifully done. This can be used for any official meeting when you don't want to be carrying a lot. It has everything you need in here. It can be used for your Bible when you're going to church, whatever. It can be used for anything else. It is multi-purpose. I hope you enjoyed it. We've actually come to the end of today's project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give our video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you've not done that already. I would also entreat you to check my other channel, which is Podcast with Sheila, that is sharing inspiring life experiences every week. Check it up, subscribe to it as well, and don't forget to like our videos. Please don't forget to share those videos as well, because there's a lot going on in this world now, and a lot of people are going through so much. I think the recent story we did was about a lady who had suddenly lost her mobility. She was never ill. She was a very vibrant lady who was going about her business and suddenly lost her mobility. And surprisingly, she was able to talk herself to walking again positively. And then she took her first step on her 29th birthday. And then after that, went through a series of help to assist her walk again. Then went on a marathon race for the very first time. She just couldn't believe it. Had to do a marathon race. Now she's doing exploits with her experience. Sometimes we don't know what we have inside of us until we go through a trial, and then we'll be able to identify our abilities and the things that we are able to do that we never knew ever existed. So check those channels out, and if you like them, please don't forget to subscribe. Please do share as well and be a blessing to somebody's life, because somebody needs to hear an encouraging story to know that if someone else was able to do it, they can do it. Until we meet again in our next class, lots of love from Skilled Hands.